What is up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to the latest Liverpool transfer news. In this video I will cover all the latest transfer news regarding Liverpool FC, so make sure to watch it until the end to find out everything that you need to know what is going on in Liverpool's transfer window. And also, if you enjoy these types of videos, please leave a like, it really helps me out. And let's have a discussion in the comments below. Who do you want Liverpool to sign, and which players do you think Liverpool need to move on in the summer? And the biggest news is that Liverpool are readying a mammoth £70 million offer for Naby Keita, according to the Daily Mirror. And also James Pearce of the Liverpool Echo, who is also a very respected journalist, he's reporting that Liverpool are preparing a £65 million offer. So there are conflicting reports on what kind of transfer offer Liverpool will persuade Leipzig to sell Naby Keita. But veteran journalist Gabriel Marcotti, who is a very respected journalist in football, has told ESPN that he believes RB Leipzig will sell Naby Keita to Liverpool if Liverpool match the asking price, the club's valuation of the player, which could be 65 million, it could be 70 million. I don't think it would be 80 million or even more, but I think for 70 million Leipzig will sell. And Gabriel Marcotti says the same thing, even though some Leipzig officials insisted that Keita is not for sale. Leipzig admit themselves that Keita wants to leave for Liverpool, and some board members at Leipzig don't really want to keep an unhappy player, even though he's a great player and he would probably help their Champions League and Bundesliga campaign. It could also be a disruptive influence, and it could also prevent other top players or other top young talents to join Leipzig if they see that Leipzig basically are boycotting selling one of your best players. Imagine a young player thinking about joining Leipzig, and they would think twice about whether they should join Leipzig, because if they outgrow Leipzig and reach another level, if they are forced to stay, if they are refused the opportunity to leave for a bigger, better club, then they will think twice about joining Leipzig. So Leipzig has to be careful, because they are certainly not in the same bracket as Bayern Munich or Dortmund in Germany, so they have to be careful with their transfer policy. If they deny the opportunity some talented youngster like Naby Keita to join a really big club, then other young players might not be attracted to sign for Leipzig. So this is another aspect of this transfer that you have to consider. So Marcotti said, and I want to read the quotes from him to you guys. He said, "I think Liverpool believe that Keita wants to come, and they believe via intermediaries that they have an understanding of what his terms would be." So Liverpool already know that the terms that they need to offer for Keita will sign a contract. And also Marcotti says, and I quote, "The problem is Red Bull Leipzig and Ralf Rangnick have come out and said he does not want to sell, Keita's not for sale. Does Keita go and try and force a move? No club wants to keep an unhappy player." I think this is very important. There is a valuation where Leipzig are going to sell no matter what Rangnick says. And that's true. As I already said, and I already kept insisting on this in this transfer saga, that every player has its price. No matter, even Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi has his price. And if the club offers that price that they just cannot refuse, then the player will sell. But Naby Keita is nowhere near. Don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing Naby Keita to Ronaldo or Messi. I'm just gave you two examples that even Messi could be signed if some club comes in and offers like 300 million to Barcelona. I don't think Barcelona would not accept the money, but that's up for debate. Certainly Keita is definitely a very, very talented player, and he could reach he has the potential, and he could reach the level of the top midfielders like Luka Modric, like N'Golo Kante, like Toni Kroos. But of course there's still a long way to go for Keita, but I think at Liverpool he would have a perfect opportunity, because his playing style, his physical attributes, his agility, his work rate, everything is absolutely perfect for a Jurgen Klopp team. A team like Liverpool who plays in the style of Jurgen Klopp with this high, fast counter-pressing, gegenpressing with high work rates for all the midfielders. Keita would fit in perfectly into this system, into this tactical setup that Jurgen Klopp has, and this is why I'm so excited to hopefully Liverpool, you know, pull off this deal, because I think this could be a game changer. Honestly, Naby Keita could be the great Liverpool midfielder that Liverpool needed for the past 5 years, and he could serve Liverpool for the next 7 or 8 years, and he could be our linchpin, he could be our spine of the team, the player that Liverpool could build the team around. So this is why I'm so excited about this transfer. And Liverpool's echoes James Spears believes also that Liverpool are hoping to offer an offer of around £65 million will convince Leipzig to sell, but 65 and 70 million pounds, there I don't think there is a lot in it. So if they reject 65 million as well, we just should keep going higher and higher until they accept, because honestly Keita's worth is a lot more to Liverpool than 70 million. Because imagine if with Keita Liverpool win the title or go far in the Champions League, he would recoup the money instantly in a season or even 2 seasons. And if Liverpool can consistently finish in the Champions League places, consistently finish in the top 3 or top 2 in the Premier League with Keita in the team, then I think it's worth it. I think Keita could be worth even 75 million pounds. Why am I saying that? The reason for that is that Liverpool don't have a player who can do what Naby Keita does. Very few midfielders in the world can do what Naby Keita does. He can defend, he can get the ball from the opposition, and then he can drive forward with the ball. He can burst past other midfielders of the opposition, and he can score goals, he can get assists. And he's similar to Steven Gerrard in terms of he can excel in more than one position. And frankly, if you want to be a great midfielder, you have to do most of the things that a midfielder has to do. And he certainly has the stamina to run all day around the pitch. He's a little bit similar to N'Golo Kante in that he's everywhere. He's quite not a very tall player, but he has the legs to cover the pitch all the games. And also he does one thing better than N'Golo Kante, and that is his contribution to the team for going forward. So he can score, he can assist, and honestly, to finish second in the Bundesliga, Keita contributed massively to that at Leipzig. And remember that Leipzig was only a second division club the season before last season, and to come up from the Bundesliga 2 and finish second, you have to have some great players in your team. They even finished ahead of Borussia Dortmund, which is, I think, is a huge achievement for Leipzig. And I can understand why Leipzig is very reluctant to sell one of their best players, and they certainly would want to have a big financial compensation for that player. And also today, 23 of the Liverpool players flew out to Hong Kong for this Asia tour, where we will play Crystal Palace, and then that's basically an Asia trophy of 4 teams in the Premier League. Liverpool are the biggest team in those 4 teams, and I think the other teams are West Brom, and I can't really remember the 4th team, so I apologize. But we will play Crystal Palace in a few days, and then we will play another team. And also 3 high-profile players didn't travel with the squad. One of them is Shea Ojo, who is increasingly likely to go on loan to either Middlesbrough or Newcastle. At the moment, it's most likely that he will go to Middlesbrough, but Newcastle and Rafa Benitez was also interested in Ojo. And I think that's a great news, because Ojo, frankly, is like a 4th or 5th choice in terms of wingers at the club. And I think he needs to play, and he needs to play at least at championship level. Both Middlesbrough are in the championship, but Newcastle are in the Premier League. So that's why I would love him to go to Newcastle to get some valuable Premier League experience, but I'm not sure if he would regularly get into the team. So the most important thing for Ojo at this stage of his career, after a long injury that he had last season, it is that he needs games, he needs to play, and maybe at Middlesbrough in the Championship he will have more game time, more playing time than at Newcastle. So that's why I'm saying that maybe Middlesbrough is the better choice, but of course ultimately Ojo and Jurgen Klopp will decide what is best for this player. The other two players are Mamadou Sakho and Alberto Moreno. I think those two players also didn't travel with the team. Those two players need to find new clubs. Sorry, it's not Moreno, it's Markovic. So it's Mamadou Sakho and Markovic who didn't travel with the squad. I don't know how I mixed up those two players, but Markovic and Sakho are basically not in the plans of Jurgen Klopp. We already knew that. Some say that Markovic didn't get a fair chance, but honestly he didn't even set the world alight at Hull City, and ultimately a relegated club. Markovic had some good moments, but ultimately what lets him down, even though he's a quite exciting player, is his end product. He just doesn't score enough goals, he doesn't get enough assists, and he has been at Liverpool for 2.5 years now, and or maybe even 3 years this summer, and he just doesn't hit the heights, hit the level of other wingers that Liverpool have. He's miles behind the likes of Mane and Salah and even Origi. He just, if you want to play for Liverpool, if you want to make it in the Premier League, even for a mid-table club, you have to go and score goals and get assists ultimately in your team. Like, just look at Jordan Ibe, who went to Bournemouth for something like almost like 20 million. I think ultimately it cost 15 million pounds for Bournemouth to get him. And Jordan Ibe, in the first half of the season, he played regularly for Bournemouth. He didn't score many goals, he didn't get assists, and just like that he was out of the team, and rightfully so. And even though he scored now in pre-season, I was just checking the results this morning, and Bournemouth played a friendly where Jordan Ibe scored. He wasn't playing in the second half of the season because he just doesn't have end product. And Markovic honestly couldn't even get into the team of somebody like West Brom, that he has no right to get into the team of Liverpool. So it's better to just cut. For Liverpool, it's better to cut our losses and to sell him so he's free to find another club. Same with Mamadou Sakho. The big question is, who will buy Mamadou Sakho for 30 million pounds? There are not many clubs who can afford to spend that amount of money on a defender. And Liverpool are playing a dangerous game, because it could come to the last week of August, and if Sakho is still here, we would have to accept a lower deal, a lower price for him, but we shall wait and see what happens on that front. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this transfer news video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.